So, for the practice of Kriya, I'm going to start now because you think I'm escaping Kriya. For the practice of Kriya, first thing we do is to have the Guru Mantra, because the link has to be established with the origin of this whole system in our hearts, in our minds. So, there is a Guru Mantra and there is a way of doing it, how to do it. Some years ago I used to keep it very secret, but now I decided that it is time that people learn how to do it. So, the Guru Mantra I'm going to describe to you as it was taught to me for you. So, before you start the actual practice of Kriya, you should do the Guru Mantra first. And first you need to sit in a, don't do anything now please, we will practice together afterwards. Sit in a comfortable posture. This way is good. This way is also 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 good. And this way is also good. This way is also good. But having said this, cross-legged posture is always better for practicing rather than sitting on a chair. Always good. But if you cannot do it, then it's okay. Suppose you have any problem and you cannot sit, then you have to sit in the chair. Okay, having said, now people usually ask, before you ask, I'm going to tell you how to keep the hands. You can just put them here, or you can put it here, or you can put it this way, or you can, if you are in Padmasana, then this is very natural. Or you can also do this. You've seen a picture of Lahiri Mahasaya, you see all this. You can also do this. So this, any one of these, as I said, as long as you're not holding it like this or this, it's okay. Then, don't do anything, just listen to me. With great humility, saying that I want to move forward in Kriya to help me to find what I am seeking, with great humility. Bend your head down a little bit and then don't do anything now. It's not a hypnosis session, it's a class. And then in your heart center, when I say heart center, among the 7 centers, there is one center called the Anahata. Means the center which is in the middle of the chest. The center of the Holy Ghost. So, fix your attention in the Anahat, and then with humility, in the center, visualize a beautiful white lotus. Lotus like this, not like this. On the top of the lotus, please don't go into details, just think that there is a lotus. Because then you will say, oh, one petal bent off. Like what? People ask me such questions. Just think that there is a lotus, okay? Don't get too close to it. And then on top of the lotus, I have a pair of padukas. You know what are padukas? Footwear. The yogis wear a wooden footwear in the olden days, made of wood. You don't have to think of wood, you can also think of leather footwear, it doesn't matter, or rubber chappals, it doesn't matter. But think that there is a pair of footwear placed on top of the lotus as if somebody is walking towards you, not away from you. That means the toes are towards you and the heel is that side. Place them there. Consider these footwear, padukas, to use the sacred word, padukas, belong to Sri Guru Babaji. You can also include all the great spiritual teachers you have heard of or in touch with and say, these are the padukas of all of them put together. But when in our tradition we think of Babaji, but actually it's a symbol of the Guru rather than one particular personality. So in this padukas, all the Guru's feet are there. I think of Babaji, of course. And then with your head bent in humility, touch the padukas with your hand. As if you are touching them. And then chant this mantra. Now if you chant with me, you will remember, you will not forget. Now, so you can. One, Om, Hreem, Shri, Gurubhyo, Namah. Om, Hreem, Shri, Gurubhyo. There is no Shreem, okay? Only Shri. Om, Hreem. Right. So, what you do is you touch the padukas, bend your head forward and chant the mantra Om Hreem Shri Gurubhyo in your mind. If nobody is around, you can do it loud, but even mentally will do. And do it for 5 minutes before you start the Kriya. Don't count the number of times, then you'll be wondering about the count. Just chant for 5 minutes and then start the rest of the Kriya. Is that clear? Do you want to do?
Can you say it once more? Can you say it once
Om,
more?
Om, Hreem, Shri, Gurubhyo, Namah. It can be Namah or it can be Namaha, doesn't matter. So, shall we sit for a few minutes and chant the Guru Mantra now? Okay. So, when I give a cue, when I say 1, 2, 3, you can start. But in your mind, not loudly. Okay? 1, 2, get set. 3. Hari Om Tat Sat. Marina. Clear on this much? Do you feel so nice that you want to have 2 more minutes maybe? It's okay, we'll wake up now. So, this is the beginning of Kriya. First you do this, then you do the rest. Now, evening, today noon session, I'm going to give you the Kriya, actual Kriya. Because in half an hour you cannot do it, we will do it and then we will practice it also. However, I want to give you a few rules and regulations to be followed for those who are going to practice Kriya. They are very simple, 4 rules and regulations, not even rules, regulations. Yama, Niyama, they are called in yoga practice, they call Yama and Niyama, rules and regulations. Well, actually, there were 24 rules and regulations for Kriya. When I was young, I was with Babaji. So when Babaji told me that after some years you will have to teach Kriya to others, I told him that with these 24 conditions, I cannot teach Kriya. Nobody is going to do this. Impossible to do it. So with a great deal of no, yes, finally we have made it to 4. And the 4 are not difficult, but they're not easy either, but it's possible to do for most of us. 1, that you practice every day, regularly, at least once a day. If you do twice, good. If you do thrice, even better. But once a day that you practice is one of the necessary parts of Kriya, that you practice once a day. Now when I say once a day, the best time is early in the morning, before the world really wakes up. But if you don't have time then, or you're not up, then you can do any time before you start eating food. You can have a cup of tea, no problem, but food. So that is the best time. But actually Kriya has no such time. You can do Kriya at any time, provided you not had a full meal. Suppose I missed the morning, I came late, I slept, I couldn't do it in the morning. I had breakfast. Okay. Now if you want to do it, either do it before lunch, before you feel again. Or if you had lunch, leave 2.5 hours before you practice Kriya. That's the only regulation for Kriya. The main regulation. It's okay. It may stop after. So that's the only regulation for Kriya. You can do Kriya at midnight as long as you don't disturb your partner. You can, and don't miss on your sleep. You can do in the morning, evening, it doesn't matter. Only condition is that if you had full meal for 2.5 hours rest, don't do Kriya. Having said that, I must say that the best time is in the morning or midnight. And place for Kriya, make sure that it's a clean place. There is no other restriction. You can do Kriya in a temple, in a church, in a synagogue. You can do anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're doing. Under the tree, anywhere. But make sure that it's a clean place, that there are no bad smells coming and so on. Kriya is such a thing that even you can do it in the cremation grounds. There is no harm. Then, for women, in India, there is usually the question, can women practice Kriya when they have periods, menses? In Kriya, there is no bar. We can do Kriya at any time. Clear? That much, 1 point. Daily practice. Okay. And when you practice Kriya, have a asana. Asana meaning something for you to sit, and you use it only yourself. Don't give it to somebody else. This, because it's yours and you build your own system here. So you don't give it to somebody else, because when you sit down, their thoughts will come in your head. So keep one. When you finish your Kriya, roll it up and put it away. 2. 3. This is not 3, this is part of 1. Okay? Point number 1, daily practice. Wear comfortable clothes when you sit for Kriya. Not very tight. You can't bend your legs, your stomach is tight. No, wear comfortable clothes. And if possible, during the beginning of Kriya, when you started doing Kriya for a year or so, try to keep a fresh set of clothes for your Kriya. When you sit down for Kriya, don't sit in your night dress, but wear something. Sit down, then after Kriya, fold it, put it away. Every week wash it. And it's okay if you don't do this, it's okay. You can wear any clothes, but make sure at least that it's comfortable. Rule number 2. Don't go around teaching Kriya to other people out of great compassion. This is necessitated because nowadays there are more gurus than disciples. Seriously. So don't go around spreading. You don't know yourself. What are you going to teach? And if something happens, do you know how to handle it? No. So don't suddenly set up shop. Because you will go somewhere and say, okay, I'll teach you. Who taught you Kriya? Oh, Sri M taught. Then it must be authentic. So it's nothing, it's just $3,000. Which you keep half and give me half. I don't want. So we are not into that business of creating teachers who charge you and give 50% to Satsang Foundation. We don't have any system like that. So don't set up shop. If anybody says, Sri M has asked me to teach Kriya, check with me. Okay? Then this is for your safety, not mine. 2 simple rules can be easily followed. Now the next 2 are not so easy to follow, but I think people can do it at least 80%. One is, try and stick to the truth. It is difficult. In the modern world, everything is a lie. The whole business is built on advertisement, which is a lie, of course. Right? How do we advertise? This is the best product. Nobody knows really. But this is the world. And you're angry with somebody, but you actually smile when you see that person. So we live in a false world. But I'm not saying if you're angry, you should shout. What I mean is, see this and try to be as truthful as you can. Because otherwise it's a big contradiction that 24 hours we tell lies and we are searching for the absolute truth. Is this possible? Not possible. So try your best to stick to the truth. Be simple. And if you feel like saying something which is not true, at least keep quiet. Don't say anything. Or say, I don't know. Dangerous way to live in this world. But try your best. If you could do it 100%, you're already free. Since we are all trying, so we need to try. So always think, I will do my best. That's it. And if you commit a mistake, regret for it. And say, I won't do it again, and move forward. Last point. Well, so stick to the truth, you understood, right? Unless you are a lawyer. I hope there are no lawyers here. It doesn't matter, I'm joking. So, that's a profession, or politician. So, the last rule is try as much as possible, not to cause injury to other living beings. And when you say other living beings, please include human beings also in it. We all know in history there was a great man who was a complete vegetarian. He did not even eat eggs. How many Jews went to the gas chambers? Hitler. So when you say not cause harm to living beings, include human beings, please, because it's the human beings who protect other living beings. They are important. So keep that in mind as you live in this world. Now, not causing injury to living beings also means not hitting somebody, but avoiding harsh words to others. Sometimes you can hurt with words more than with a sword. So watch out. And I follow a simple principle. Before you say something, think for 1 second and say, what am I going to say? To who am I going to say? And is this the right situation to say it? If we follow these 3 rules, then generally 90% of problems can be avoided in this world also. And if you're always full of problems in this world, how are you going to meditate? So, think carefully, what am I going to say? So important. Words come out and then you can't bring them back. To who am I going to say this to? Can you imagine going to a congregation of very orthodox Christians and telling them that actually all are same? You may be right, but that is not the place to say that. And that is not the person to say that. Right? So we have to think about that. And the situation in which we are saying it. Somebody is sitting down and chewing chicken. You go walk up to him and say, it's horrible, you're killing him. That's not the time to say that. Maybe you sit there, have a glass of water, come let's go for a walk and say, are you sure you want to eat this? Makes a difference. So watch your words. How you utilize them. These are the only 4 rules to be followed. And they are very easy. I won't say they're easy. They are a little difficult, but I think if we try, we can do our best. And don't postpone your Kriya till you are perfect. This is not going to work. While you start your practice, also try to practice the Yama Niyamas. Is it clear? Alles klar? So, any questions? Because afternoon session when we come, we are going to go into Kriya.
What about like your state of mind, sir? Like, how should that be for Kriya? Like, how do you do Kriya if you're irritated, angry? Like, I don't feel.
You are doing Kriya to get rid of it. If you are irritated and if you are angry and if you sit down and practice your meditation, then that becomes less. So if I say, let me get rid of my irritation, anger, then I will do Kriya. Till the end we will never do Kriya. You get what I mean? So side by side, try to move. But acknowledge it, that I am angry, I am agitated. You have to acknowledge, you can't deny it. It is.
Doesn't that affect the practice?
Yeah, but if you don't practice, it keeps increasing. It doesn't have any effect. The mind is very tricky. It will try to postpone all practice by saying, now it is not a good time to practice. Yesterday I had chicken, so how can I practice? Keep practicing till you are free of it. One thing I forgot to tell you. I missed when she asked, I remembered. If you have had alcohol, immediately after that, don't practice Kriya. You may have a glass of wine, it's okay. But don't practice Kriya immediately after that. It will interfere with your system. Anyway, wine is vegetarian. I'm not advocating wine, but you know what I mean. So sometimes it happens. You have people come, you have a pie, you have a glass of wine, it's okay. But immediately after that, if you want to do that, practice Kriya first. Don't mix it up. That's what I'm trying to. While it's clear to be always clear, well, if you can't do Kriya after that, because it interferes with your central nervous system. And we are dealing with the central nervous system. When you learn Kriya, you will know this, you will understand this. Therefore, the both don't mix. Otherwise, there is nothing against it. Also, if somebody says, feelings are more important than anything else. If somebody says, if you don't have a glass of wine, I am going to commit suicide, have your wine. Don't let him commit suicide. You know what I mean? Not exactly suicide. I try and be vegetarian as much as possible. If somebody out of great love and affection prepares something for me, which may not be strictly vegetarian, I eat it. I think that person's heart is more important than my eating something. So we have to be balanced. That's what I mean. If I didn't eat a little bit of food which my mother makes for me, she would be very offended. For a whole year she will be worrying about it. So eat and move. You know what I mean? So moderation in everything is essential. This is the teaching of the Gita. Krishna says in the Gita, or Vyasa says, if you don't like to say Krishna says, this yoga is not for him who eats too much, or eats too little, or sleeps too much, or sleeps too little. Moderation is the key word. Because it's also connected. If you eat too much, you know what will happen. You will sleep. If you eat less, your brain can't work. Keep it balanced. Entertainment, eating, sleeping, talking, keep everything balanced. Don't go to the extremes. This is the golden yama niyama. Any more questions? I knew.
Sometimes it may happen that I have to get up very early to do my business, and
How early?
then I also even know I will have to work for the whole day.
How early?
For about 6 o'clock, or even more early.
I don't know. Because for me, early is like 4 o'clock. It doesn't matter. Okay, so what's the question?
Am I allowed to do it?
Yeah.
To omit it for one day?
It's up to you. If you miss it one day, it's not a crime. But you miss something. Right? So if you can't do it in the morning, when you come back, you can do in the evening. If you cannot, then do it next day. I mean, it's not like somebody standing with a sword and see if you don't do it. No. It's up to us. So if you think it's useful and we can put some time somehow, then it's a good idea to do regularly. This is what I'm saying. Morning, if there are people who wake up at 4:30 and do their Kriya, but it will be too much. You will feel sleepy when you go to work. I understand. So when you come back, see, before going to bed, before having a meal, it's possible to put it. It will be good. Otherwise, do it next day. Or spend more time on Sundays. Little more time. Adjust Madi. Some?
I know in some traditions, by initiation, they ask you to bring flowers and fruits. Can you talk something about it? And then there's some ritual going on.
The offering of a flower and offering of dakshina or money to the teacher is an old tradition, which some people continue, some don't. You know, flowers are offered even on birthdays. When people are happy, they offer flowers. So there is a ritual like that. But by and large, I have kind of said that it's not necessary to do that. Because for me, if you practice regularly and come with an open heart and a loving mind, you're yourself the flowers that are in the need of any other flower. So,
about all these mantras they do then.
this is all quite ritualistic. You have one mantra, Guru mantra, chant it regularly, and then go into the practice. That's more important. And when you practice, there are some words to be uttered, so it becomes part of your practice. I'm deliberately avoiding too much ritualistic things because we need to move forward now. We are in a new century. And people who are very orthodox, who want to follow that, I have no objection. They can do that, but you don't need to do it. After all the rituals, if you don't practice, it's useless. So I think that is more important. Sincerity is more important. And if somebody says, I will do it, I want to do it, I want to improve myself, bless me, then that is an offering of flowers for me. The heart is a beautiful flower, if it's nice.
I wanted to ask you is the significance of the words of the mantra,
Which?
the Guru mantra.
It's a big subject. Because we can have 3 days satsang on the Om. But in every important mantra, you have the sound of Om added in the beginning, because it's called pranava, that which gives energy to the mantra. Now, Om is not a word, it's a sound. It's a sound even if you don't know what it means. It's a sound which can have a certain effect on your mind, on your meditation. If you don't know anything about Sanskrit, but if you chant Om, you will do it. In Kriya practice, we have what is called Brahmari, which is the last part of Om, the Ma. Each of these sounds have a certain effect, so Om is added. Pranava, because most mantras have Om in the beginning, because it is the beginning of end of all things. It is the alpha and the omega. Ma. Now, then we have Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. I know I missed one word. I'm coming to that. So Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha is normal, which means Om. I begin this chant. Shri. Shri meaning respectful word used for a guru, for a teacher. Shri. Even men, when they write their names, they write Shri. It's a short form of Shriman. Shriman means Mr. Shri. And Guru, teacher. Guru Bhyo, to the Guru. Guru Bhyo means to the Guru. Namaha, I offer my prostration. So it means Om, to the Guru, to the respected teacher, I offer my salutations. Here it means Sri Guru Babaji. Or beyond that, the Supreme Reality who itself is the Guru. Now we have a Hrim in the middle. The Hrim has been put there by Babaji, not by us, because Hrim is another sound which is to do with the energy in us. You can call it by different names. You can call it Devi, Kundalini, whatever you want to call it. The sound of that energy, Shakti, we call it, is Hrim. And in all human beings, male or female, it is female. The Shakti or energy is always female, and the sound to activate it is Hrim. So we have added Hrim to the mantra. We haven't added it, it was added by somebody. So indicate that while you chant the mantra, to understand the meaning of the Guru or what it means, or to reach your spiritual state, the energy has to be activated, and the sound to activate the energy is Hrim. H-R-E-M. If you write in English, H-R-E-E-M. Him. It's the Bijakshara. Bijakshara means a seed letter. You know, when you sow a seed, a sapling comes and then the tree comes. In the same way, there are Bijaksharas. Hrim is not the only Bijak. There is Hrim, there is Kleem, there is Cream, there is many. So, Hrim is for us important. So, Om, Hrim, Shri, Gurubhyo Namah. One day I will explain Om to you. Let's have another retreat for only Om. 2 days. Okay?
Yes. I had a question. What is the actual goal of doing Kriya Yoga? What is the final goal? What we are trying to achieve?
This is what we discussed first before we started discussing the Kriya.
No, because I'm relating it to, because there are also in scriptures when people were living life with satya and truth, and they could also achieve sort of salvation with that, just simple.
But do people live like? But do people really live like that now?
Yeah, that's a big question. And that is the point. That
We need help now.
Okay, in the Kali Yuga, that's right. Kriya Yoga is helpful.
We need help. We can't naturally live like that. And even if you live like that, you can easily move and fall off on the other side if you don't have something to hold. Some people have such faith in God, they hold it. Some people say, there is no God, what do you do? I say, okay, it doesn't matter, do some practice, we'll see afterwards. We'll discuss that later. In fact, my next book is Yoga for the Godless. But there are thousands of people who want to do it but don't believe it. So they go and they are discouraged, then they leave it. So I said, you start, we'll see. That you can decide afterwards. Yeah.
Sir, when I'm on long travel on flights, am I allowed to do
Coming.
Am I allowed to do it mentally?
How?
I don't know. I mean, because
How will you? No.
traveling for
Wait,
16 hours.
no. But how will you do it mentally? Can you tell me? Explain.
I mean, people who take up some japa yoga, right?
Okay.
So they mentally do it.
Okay.
I also do it sometimes.
Okay.
You know, I do it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on flight for 16 hours.
Right.
So then how do you miss?
You mean when you learn the whole Kriya, you cannot, of course, sit in the flight and do Mahamudra and all that.
Practically.
I agree. But you can always sit down quietly, do the Kriya breathing without troubling the guy next door on the other seat, quietly without making too much noise, and then you can meditate silently there. You are not disturbing anybody.
Better than not doing.
Better than not doing. But the beautiful stewardess will come and say, will you have a drink, sir? I say, no, I don't want. I'm drinking already. I say, I'm already drinking. She says, what? Oh, I can't tell you.
And what about one is sick?
No, sick you can't do it.
Sick, but
You cannot do it. You can lie down. See, chanting the Guru Mantra you can do even if you're sick, right? You can lie down and chant the mantra. You can also do, first when we do the Kriya, you'll see what the steps are. Some steps can be done without physical exertion. Some which you can do, you can do. And any chanting or watching the breath can be done under all conditions. You may not be able to do the actual physical acts which you can keep off. You can't. If you are sick, you shouldn't do actually. Dogs. 2 of them running with a ball in the mouth. Very happy. So,
I want to,
yes sir, sorry.
sometimes I personally think other people also get a little bit stuck in the practice and in life in general. Of course, I think it all goes together. So I'm tempted also to bring some changes in the practice. I don't know if that's a good way to real or it's better stick to what.
Let me tell you this. Your difficulties in your worldly life should not be brought to affect your Kriya. Whether you are in a good state or in a bad state, you should continue to practice Kriya. One. Second is to make changes. It is always good to check with someone who has given you Kriya before you bring about the changes. If you cannot access that person, if you find it difficult, you may change a little bit. Don't change the basic structure of it. We won't discuss this now because after the Kriya, then I will discuss with you what you are actually trying to say, because then everybody will know Kriya. Then otherwise it will be, what is he saying? Okay. So I think we should stop here now without talking too much. And so we meet at 4 o'clock or at lunch. Then 4.
12:30.
Huh?
Lunch is at 12:30.
Yeah. So 4 to
2 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Oh, there are some questions here. Good God. $16 hours to 18 hours. 17. Okay, fine. Good enough. So these questions, can we deal with it in the evening when we come? Okay, I will answer them in the evening when I come back. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace. So, right now I'm going to give you a simple diagrammatic representation of the energy channels, systems, and what we are supposed to do after that. Okay. First, you have to have a yogic anatomy physiology. It's not exactly the anatomy physiology you see in a mortuary or a what's that called? The room where dissection is. It's similar but little different. I won't go into the gory details, but I don't know what to do with this now. Put in my pocket maybe. I don't have a pocket. Yeah, I have here. What happens if the Kundalini awakens?
Too much light in it.
No, I can't. I just put it.
There's a clip on it.
No, I just put it. Okay, so here we go. Casper the ghost. Better to laugh. You know? It's so easy to make him cry. You need only one line.
It's not a happy yogi day.
Now let's have a happy yogi. Okay? Now, so in the yoga anatomy physiology, we have the energies in our human system. According to yoga, there are more than 100 channels through which you can call it nerves, channels. They're not actually nerves, but channels through which the energy in us, which is called the prana, it operates, it functions. Among the so many nadis, the most important nadis are only three. On the left, if you're sitting this way, on the left side is the Ida. You don't have to study the names, I'm just writing it. This is Pingala. So here is Pingala and here is Ida. Now the Pingala, the Ida starts from here. Sorry.
So that's the right one, no?
So should not
Yeah, the
start from the right, Ida goes to the left.
Ida starts from the right, crosses here, and goes not outside, inside, and goes to the left. And the other starts from here, crosses here, and goes to the right. And here they meet. Okay. Then there is the third nadi, for us very important, the Sushumna, that goes straight one line from here, near the spine. Some people say inside the spine, it doesn't matter. Close to the spine, and comes and touches the bottom. So here all the three come together. So for the yogis, this is Prayag, Triveni Sangha. We don't have to go to the river. And this is Varanasi, because the river Varuna and the river Asi join together here for us. So this is Varanasi. So standing right here in the Netherlands, all of us have Varanasi and we have Triveni Sangha. So this is okay. So energies for most people are functioning through many hundreds of channels. The main channels which are enough for us to function in this world, including intellectual, artistic, everything, genius, everything, is the energy flows through the right and through the left. Now, most of us, for all of us, the energy flows from both the sides, left and right, but some more on the left, some more on the right. So then there is the central channel, which is rarely touched by anybody, mostly, except the yogi. So the job is now to balance the Ida and the Pingala, the energies. You may call the Ida now, when plus and minus doesn't mean negative. I mean, not negative in the negative sense of the term. It means there are two charges. Like in electricity, you have anode and cathode. So we have these two charges. And the idea is prana apana samayukta. I'm quoting the Gita. How to bring the prana and apana sama, equal. So when these two are made, the energies are made equal, and then made to strike each other here. You know what happens when anode and cathode wires stuck? Spark is generated. Now the yogi's kriya is a way how to take the spark once it is generated, gather the energies and make them go straight up instead of on the sides. When this happens, then the straight and narrow path opens. And then you move along that. And then you reach higher dimensions, your mind expands, it grows from ordinary sensory experiences to higher things, and then finally it touches that which cannot be described, cannot be defined, can only be known. Even knowing is difficult. When you cease, it exists. So how to know? The biggest obstacle to knowing that is that I am trying to know. But then, till then, we have to go slowly up, step by step. Kriya involves the process of how to do this, how to go about it. And it's a very step-by-step scientific practice. There is nothing to, you need some visualization, because when you imagine, things become realities. You want to build a house, first you have the figure of the house. In the same way, as you use your mind, in the word in yoga is sankalpa, visualize, slowly the visualization then takes you to higher levels, then you don't need to visualize, it's there. So, this is the process. Now, at the bottommost center, you don't have to by heart the names, I'm just saying it for technical reasons. You can take a picture if you like later. This center is called the Mooladhara. Mula Adhara, which means root foundation, because it's at the root, and it's the foundation from which everything begins. And this is the center which is mostly functional in all of us generally. It's responsible for eating, drinking, sex. Why we love sex so much is because the energy is activated here. And the prana, according to symbology, sleeps here in the Mooladhara like a but there is no snake there, don't look for the snake. It's a symbol of the coiling of energy. You know, when the snake sleeps, you poke, stands up. So, those days there were no clock springs, so they used a snake as a symbol. Somebody said, I'm looking for the snake to come. So, this is the bottommost center, and in most people it is active. But the energy is flowing downwards. Our idea is to catch it and take it up. It's called snake charming. Mm-hmm. So, now from here, and the next center is called the, don't have to remember, Swadhisthana. Why I am writing? Because somebody will think this fellow is ignorant of the Tantra. So, Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana actually means one's own place. That is from the Mooladhara is at the bottom, the navel is in the center, between these two is the Swadhisthana. This is represented by a square, the Mooladhara, and inside the square is a triangle. We'll come to that. This one is represented by a crescent moon. This one is the Manipura. Represented by a triangle which is up, with its apex up. Here there is a square with a triangle down. Here there is a triangle with its apex up. And Manipura means the place where the jewel is. Mani. Mani Padme Hum, jewel in the lotus. Manipura means, Pura means a place, a village, town, a dwelling. So this is where the jewel dwells. Then you have now the symbol is a triangle. Now each one also has a color. This square is yellow, which is the color of the earth, Prithvi, and inside the triangle is red, with a center dot called a bindu, which is like a diamond, sparkler. The Swadhisthana, the color is like the moon, crescent moon, color of water. When you say water, it means the principle of liquid, not actually only water. Liquid principle. Why it's colored like the moon? Because moon is supposed to be connected to high tide, low tide, imagination. When the imagination runs completely riot, what do you call a person? Because you're connected with Luna. So controlled imagination is a very useful tool. If it runs away, then it's sticky. So this is also the symbol of the water principle, liquid principle. This is solid, square. The solid to liquid, this is fire. It's fire red in color. So it's the principle of fire which is required, the heat that is required to change solid to liquid, liquid to vapor, and vapor to akasha. We'll describe that after some time. So that's over. The Anahat, it is like the Star of David on the Israel flag. Now the two triangles, equilateral triangles together, it represents the principle of Vayu. It also means that when the awareness reaches here, up to here, then the upturned triangle and the downturned triangle are come together. So then you are not completely just animal, but more than that. Angel, no, not angel. So these two, and this is sky blue in color, and this is called the Anahat. Anahat means unstuck sound. Normally you need sound, no sound. This is sound when there is no. Have you listened in the night sometimes, in the silent night, to the sound when there is no wind? Something happens. Anyway, so then you have the Vishuddha. Vishuddhi actually means pure, to purify. And it's in this place. Vishuddhi, Vishuddha. You don't have to memorize Vishuddha. And this is like a oval shape. And this is sky blue and this is indigo, deep purple violet. It's like an egg shape. I hope nobody has a doubt this time. In Washington, somebody asked me if the egg is this way or this way. It doesn't matter. It's just, it's just, then, here, the important center called the Ajna, which is right in front of where the pineal gland is inside. The Ajna chakra is supposed to be shaped like a shivling. You know how have you seen a shivling? Have you seen? A symbol of Shiva like black stone like. And on both, and with an eye here. And on both sides, two white petals. These also have petals, we don't have to go into the details. Then you start counting how many. So here there are two petals, easy to count, white, milk white. And this is the top of the crown, is considered to be the Sahasrara chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus, which is our destination. And while this is Varanasi, the city, the center where Shiva sits finally after going from here is here. Then Shakti and Shiva become one, and there is only bliss. It's called Saundarya Lahiri, the bliss of beauty. Anyway, it's all symbols. Now, the aim of the yogi is to balance the prana and apana, bring it here, spark, and take the spark which is in the middle of the triangle through the Sushumna Nadi, touching each center and going up. As your awareness goes there one by one, little by little, then your mind expands, more bliss, more calmness, more tranquility, and more awareness. Then the world is expanding before you. Not only confined to small things. And you become a universal man. Man to Superman is not a good word because Nietzsche wrote the book, but it's similar. Now, therefore the process of Kriya is to do this. Now, a few more things. They also have a sound, each center. And when you make that sound with your mind and also with, then that center becomes activated and energies move. So the lowest center, when I say lowest, it doesn't mean it's low. they all have their functions to play, is called Lam. L-A-M, Lam. The Tibetans say Lung, so it doesn't matter. Same thing, Lam. Only two people in the world who say Lam. One is the Tibetan and another is the Bengali in India. Lung. So Lam. Vam. This will come in useful later. Tomorrow we'll see. Lam, Vam. This is Ram, old monk. And this is the center which has Yam. Not M, okay? Yam. In Tamil Nadu people call me Yam. And I Yam everything. Yam. And then this is Hum. Hum. Not whom, hum. And this and this together is only one sound, Om. These are they are called Bijakshara, seed sounds. So tomorrow we will apply the technique of how to use the sounds, but today we will go to the other things, okay? How to do the Kriya. So this is for your information. So what Kriya is going to do is to raise our awareness. But before you raise our awareness, we need to clean the channel called the Sushumna, which is usually fully blocked. Because energies are always only functioning from the Muladhara. So it's blocked. And if there is no space, even if the energy is awake, it cannot go up. This is the reason why some people do vigorous exercises and awaken the energy and they go back. Because there is no way to go up. It's unclean, it's full of muck. So you need to know how to clean the muck. And the first exercise in Kriya is how to clean the muck. Then how to take it up. So the first it's like more like a bottle brush. The children's feeding bottle, you have to clean, so up and down, up and down. So we need to now. So you know the Guru mantra and how to do it. That's how it begins. Okay. Now the next step in Kriya is what is called the Mahamudra. Mahamudra performs the function of yogasanas. If you do 4 Mahamudras, it's like doing, except the upside down posture, it's like doing about 16 asanas at once. And Mahamudra, the great symbol, Mahamudra, not to be mistaken with the Mahayana teachings of Mahamudra, this is different. This is posture. So, now we can shut